Hey guys, what is going on? My name's Ryan. I play chess, put my videos on YouTube for you. I have a fun mate here today. It's called an Arabian mate. It's a combo with the knight and the rook. Um, Almost as pretty as Anastasia's mate. But let's just see how it goes. So I played Sicilian variation. I'm going to get rid of that pawn as soon as possible, just because it blocks your development and all of your view if you don't. This is a typical line for them to bring the knight here, and then if we choose to capture, they capture back with the queen. Also, another reason that they move the queen here, I thought this was a really weak move for a long time, but it's actually pretty good because they can bring the bishop out here and then force me to kind of respond to that. So anyways, I go ahead and fianchetto. So he went ahead and did this line. I fianchettoed here. I usually don't, because I know that a common line is for them to gain space with this b7, b5 push, and then in which case, I'd have a interesting game with that. So I respond to this, and he didn't decide to do anything with it. He instead moves his bishop back over here, in which case I just reset, bring it back to its original position. At this point, I'd say that I am far more developed right now than he is. All of my pieces have good lines, whereas, if you look at his bishop, he's got nothing. Knights aren't developed yet. So, like I said, he goes ahead and does this b5 push with the pawns, totally regular. I take my space here with this bishop to check the queen. Moves down one, fair move. And I push here, restricting this knight from going anywhere, and also kind of delaying this bishop from going anywhere but right here. So he goes right there, which I'm happy with. He sees this. This is pretty dangerous right now, and he decides to get his queen out of the way right away. He's got a nice little check right here, so I immediately castle to avoid that. He tries to develop his knight. I reveal this attack. I wanted to get my knights involved in this game more than anything at this point. So he goes ahead and takes a smart move. I recapture. He threatens my bishop. I move here in order to protect my pawns around my king. Pawns around your king are pretty important. You don't want to recapture here with this g3 pawn, because then you're leaving yourself open to this horizontal, maybe it's this vertical column here, this g file. So he goes ahead and takes. I take back. He brings the bishop right there. I'm not sure why he did that. There's really nothing going on along this file. It was perfectly fine right there. Maybe he didn't want me to capture it. I wasn't planning on it. But at this point, I have the major advantage of having threatening queen and having full development. So I start to bring the rooks out. He castled and obviously didn't see this right here. I go ahead and take my first free pawn of the game. I think we're probably 15 moves in, and that was maybe the first inaccuracy. He brings it back down, and I connect rooks. He tries to thwart that, and I just kind of ignore it. I think that this f-pawn is very important, and I go after it. He takes, I take back. There's really not much counterplay for me. That's the thing. If I were to take this rook right now, because takes, queen takes, and then black's got a pretty fine position right there. So I want to keep creating threats, and I do so on this square. He takes, and now I have three pieces lined up here. This is a lot harder to defend than if his queen was sitting right here and my knight was still sitting right here. So he defends it with this knight, and I go over here because that is his first blunder. Knight was the only thing protecting this bishop. He should have captured it, ruined my pawn structure. But he defends that pawn. It is an important pawn. I go ahead and take right away. He threatens my rook, and in order to see this is check right here. This is a really nice move from him. I got real nervous when he played this. It's a check, but I stop it with my queen here. Now he can't take this rook any longer because I have this attack. This is checkmate right here. So he's forced to capture my queen. I force a trade. And I decide to take with this knight instead of this knight because this knight is going to get kicked eventually anyways. Moves his knight back to an active position and threatens taking this pawn. I just have a nice pawn chain going here. He protects the pawn. I move my knight to a very lovely position right now. And I have a double threat on this f7 pawn. That's been the story of the whole game, is attacking this f7 pawn. And finally he's just like, alright, I'm just going to take it. So I recapture, he recaptures. Now his horizontal file is open. I always think it's a good idea to try and keep a connection between your knights as long as possible, and you'll see why pretty soon. He pushes the pawn there, and I come up here with check. He can't move here, or else taking here is mate. He can't move here because my rook, his only real move is right here. And this is called an Arabian mate. So he moves right here, and that's checkmate. It's checkmate because he cannot move here, and this knight is protecting this rook. It's a real pretty mate. Anyways, that's what an Arabian mate looks like. I didn't know before this game. But thanks for watching, guys. My name is Ryan, and I wish you luck in your chess. Thank you. Bye-bye.